Alright everyone, let's get started, and welcome to Oxygen Not Included! Although as you can see, I've already built my shiny little statue, so we're done here! Yay, I won the game! Time to pack it— Okay, no, wait, that's not how this game works, is it? Yeah, so as you can see, I've already spent a lot of time playing this game. And really, this is the kind of game that I'm almost just not allowed to play, because as soon as I start playing it, I start playing it for 6 hours. And then 6 hours later, I'm like, I wanted to do other things today, but now I'm just going to spend all of my time playing Oxygen Not Included instead. And I think that happens because this is a game where there's always one more thing to do. There's always one more problem to solve, and there's always a way to solve that problem. So I'm like, okay, let's go a couple more cycles and try to fix this situation. Let's go a couple more cycles and try to set this up. And yeah, 6 hours later, here we are. But I do want to try and show off some of what I've done with this so far, and I like to maybe kind of make more progress through a game that really is about surviving as long as you can, more so than maybe making progress, but there is progress to be made. So let me take you on a quick tour of the cute fortress, and yeah, we'll see what there is to improve and what I'd like to do from there. And we have to start the tour with the living areas, because I have been steadfastly making sure that my population stays at 12 for a long time. Hold on a second. Oh wait, no, that's not the button I wanted. Here we go, this is the button I wanted. My colony's population has been at 12 since, as you can see, cycle 76. Right? It has not increased at all since then. Right? And I'm just doing that because I felt like it was the right balance to strike between not having, not needing more resources to sustain more people, but also having enough people to get things done. I don't know what I'm sure there's an optimal number. I'd like to see a speed run of cycle 200 building the statue. That must exist somewhere, I assume. I'd like to see it. I wonder what the optimal numbers on that look like. Anyway, I have 12 duplicants. I have a little barracks for them, which I always forget that. Buttons are hard. Wait. I have my 2 little barracks for them, which is nice and well decorated, so at least when they're in there and they're sleeping, they can feel good about the decor in the area. And of course, I have the fully functional bathroom set up there. I could make comments about how this is clearly a unisex bathroom, but I will decline. Except I just did, so I'm obviously not declining. Whatever. Right? This also, interestingly enough, serves as a source of water for the colony, and it's probably best that you not think about that too hard. But I suppose that leads into another thing to show off. I've devoted the corner of the colony over to the left here over to storage and decontamination. Probably I went a little bit overkill on building storage bins, but I was getting really tired of duplicants complaining about not having places to put things. So, storage bins. Right. Also, water storage, all of which is empty. I'm not sure if that should surprise me, but yeah, I suppose that's the situation. Anyway, the water from the bathroom, the polluted water from the bathroom, I should say, right, goes in through some holding tanks, through water sieves to, clean out the black water and make it not sewage anymore. And then from those, and I won't even try to trace the spaghetti of pipes I have over here, from there goes into this room where it sits in these reservoirs until the chlorinated air in that room kills off all the germs present on it. And then fresh water, decontaminated and then chlorinated, goes into these water reservoirs. Again, not really worth showing that off, but goes into those water reservoirs for storage. Although, I guess I don't have any water storage right now. I feel like I hadn't quite noticed that. That could be a problem, but of course there's a little puddle, a little tank of water here that also serves as storage, quote unquote. And as you can see, I have a setup. I have a vent here to set up water being vented into this space when and if I need it. This was the first water storage I had, and if the duplicants need to manually get water, this is where they can do that. But there is another draw on that, so hold on one moment. The corner over to the right from there is my base's industrial zone. Right? I probably shouldn't have built the gas reservoirs. I won't talk about what I should and shouldn't have done because all of the decisions I made sense at the time. This part of the base, first of all, this part of the base is the draw on my water supply, where water that I pull in from here goes into the electrolyzers to produce oxygen and hydrogen for the colony. Right? Both of which are very useful things to have. Oxygen for the obvious reasons, hydrogen for a number of reasons, most of which I haven't really needed yet, let's say. Right? Anyway, that leads into another round of merciless spaghetti, this time of ventilation pipes, but the upshot is hydrogen goes into generators, oxygen goes into storage, and then theoretically into the rest of the base. I say theoretically because honestly, I feel like I've been overproducing oxygen, or at least that it's stuck in the pipes. There haven't been any problems with that, and certainly the game isn't complaining about not producing enough oxygen. That toilet out of order, by the way, is false. They are not out of order, there's just something going on there, which may be something with the update, I don't know. So, I tried to build a basic cooling setup. It didn't really work very well. I also have natural gas generators and other generators to ensure that this provides all of the power my base could need as well. Right? And that is why it is also the hottest section of my base, because, well, all of that produces heat as well. And, of course, speaking of natural gas generators, I am pulling off of a natural gas geyser over here to power those. And there's another natural gas geyser over here, which I do intend to make use of eventually. The industrial sector of my base, quote-unquote, also is the gap that leads down. And by down, I mean all the way down, right? I have been, I basically just dumped everything down there. I'll worry about the consequences later. I haven't been using oil for anything yet, and I was just curious to know what supplies could be had from down here. Things like steam vent, volcano, oil, magma. Also, as you can see, I've been venting high temperature water into the frozen biome as another form of cooling for my base. Right, we'll see how long that lasts, but for now, temperatures are just fine. I've also set up the Great Hall for food, as well as the remains of my farming operation. Recently, I've mostly been relying on ranching to get the food I need for my base. Also, I have way more food than I actually need. Or at least, well, I guess we'll see how long that food supply lasts, but certainly I have a huge amount of surplus, and I didn't feel like spending more resources on supplying the farm when I wasn't quite sure if I really needed to continue supplying the farm. I certainly have the seeds I need. Where are you? There you are. I certainly have the seeds I need to restart the farming operation if that number gets lower than I feel comfortable with. But I have been doing a lot of ranching for supplies as well. Right. Of note, too, is that my second ranching operation is a valuable source of plastic, which is kind of, well, welcome to the wonderful, wonderful world of games which don't have to necessarily play by the expected rules of our world. Right? I could get them to regrow their plastic scales if they were in a hydrogen climate, but what I've been doing is just harvesting the plastic once, and then, well, this colony is not vegetarian, I'm sorry to say. And that basically covers the tour for the main core of my base. Right? Of the cute fortress, that's pretty much it. And it's, as I said, it is a spaghetti kludge of, ridiculous water pipes everywhere, ridiculous ventilation down there, multiple different power grids that I never really planned any of them in advance. It's a mess. It's pretty much of a royal mess. But it has kept despite oxygen not having been included, it's kept everyone alive for 200 cycles with, I want to say, room to spare. Right? And it's that room to spare which is when I get to, there's more stuff to do, of course. I have indeed achieved the one huge milestone initiative, the Home Sweet Home. Survived 200 cycles, high morale, 12 population. That's the reason why I stopped at 12, honestly. And the Great Monument here. I've succeeded at that, but there is the other milestone initiative, which I haven't even touched, which means it's time for the space race. I have indeed dug far enough up to expose the surface of the asteroid on which this colony was built. I have kind of basic access to the area which I would need to start the space race. But that long commutes tag has been here this whole time for longer than I can remember. And I don't think, trying to put space industry up here in this part of the map when it's a long way back to the colony seems like not a functional idea. Plus, again, as much as I don't regret kind of doing what I needed to do to put everything together and to make this colony work as long as it did, it's a hack job at best. It's not clean. And although I've put a decent focus on things like decor, making this a livable base, right? In some ways, right? In a lot of ways, duplicants do end up spending a lot of time in spaces that aren't really intended for common use. Also, there's that thing where most of my base is still pitch black. Go figure. So, that is what brings me to the point. Because I haven't done video tutorials. I'm not doing, this isn't a how to launch rockets into space video. And if it was, you would probably be better off watching someone else. No, I tell stories. And so, we are going to tell a story today. We are going well, probably not today. It'll be somewhat of an ongoing effort. My goal is to build a space facility for my duplicants from scratch. Just purpose build up in this area of the map. Purpose build a space facility where I can assign some small group of duplicants in this area in a facility built from the ground up to try and avoid some of the engineering compromises I accepted with my main base, that is designed to support them for, ideally, support them permanently. I'm sure resources will crunch eventually, but I want to try and ensure that I can assign, 6 duplicants to that facility, have them live and work and do things there such that I could accidentally leave this game running nonstop for a week and come back and find them all still there, no problems. That is the goal. And like I said, it's probably going to take me some time to actually make it happen. It's definitely going to take some time to actually get the Great Escape and send a duplicant as far as they can go from this asteroid. But we're going to see if I can make it happen. And that is the progress I hope to be able to make going forward. So, we will start that round of adventure next time. Until then.